Sudan's army denies bombing convoy taking humanitarian aid to famine-hit area of Darfur. Legal challenge to Cameroon's President Paul Biya as prominent opposition candidate files formal petition against his eligibility to run for an 8th term in office. Plus, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres urges Japan to invest in Africa's tech future at the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development. Hello and welcome to the program today. I'm Layo Olaride. We begin in Sudan, where the army is denying bombing a World Food Programme convoy taking aid to the famine-hit area in the country's Darfur region. The paramilitary Rapid Support Forces had blamed the army for Wednesday's airstrike in the town of Melit, which is under RSF control. The WFP did not give many details of the attack, but said 3 lorries in the 16-vehicle convoy were damaged and caught fire. However, all staff traveling in the convoy were safe. The convoy was headed towards a village near Melit, a famine-affected area some 90 kilometers northwest of El Fasher. The city is the army's last foothold in the Darfur region and has been besieged by the RSF for more than a year. The attack is the latest in a string of assaults on humanitarian operations in Sudan. Although WFP is urging the warring parties to respect international humanitarian law, even as it gathers additional information and assess the impact of Wednesday's attack. Sudan plunged into a civil war in April 2023 after a vicious power struggle erupted between the army and the RSF, creating one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. The peacekeeping mission in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, MONUSCO, said that gunfire was reported near the UN mission's base in Bayou and also to the base of Uganda's People Defense Forces in Blue, and that's in the Ituri province. While speaking to reporters in New York, UN spokesperson Stephen Dujarric said the UN mission activated security protocols and deployed patrols to secure the area and nearby sites hosting internally displaced people.
They are telling us about developments in Ituri and North Kivu provinces. Yesterday, gunfire was reported near the UN's missions base in Bayou and also close to the base of the Uganda People's Defense Forces in Bull in Ituri province. The UN mission activated security protocols and deployed patrols to secure the area nearby sites, hosting internally displaced people. Meanwhile, the mission's force commander sent a delegation to Komanda, Ituri province, to meet community representatives and honor the victims of the massacre perpetrated by the ADF in July.
Cameroonians are awaiting the verdict from the Constitutional Court on a petition filed by a prominent opposition candidate against the candidacy of President Paul Biya. Akere Muna, a prominent opposition candidate and former bar president, has filed a formal petition with the Constitutional Council alleging that President Paul Biya is constitutionally ineligible to run under Article 118 of the Electoral Code. The motion cites his advanced age, recurrent health absences, and presumed dependencies on third parties as grounds for disqualification. While President Paul Biya, aged 92, is seeking an 8th term in the October elections, he has been in power since 1982 and remains one of the longest-serving and oldest heads of state globally. Well, Mr. Akere Muna emphasizes that it's not a political attack, but a legal imperative to uphold the state of law. Well, the ruling from the Constitutional Council is expected this Friday at the Palace Day Congress in the capital. Well, President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa is introducing incentives for electric vehicles, battery production, and green hydrogen, while also investing in health, manufacturing, digital infrastructure, and skills development. He adds that the African Continental Free Trade Area remains central to his country's economic vision. He was speaking during the 2nd plenary session on the economy at the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development Summit in Yokohama, Japan.
South Africa seeks to deepen inter-Africa trade while becoming a continental industrial platform from which Japanese and other global firms can expand and export into our continent. We're actively working with the AFCFTA Secretariat to finalize value chain protocols in automotive, agro-processing, pharmaceuticals, and textiles. We support rules of origin harmonization to encourage manufacturing in Africa and the upgrading of border infrastructure to enable faster movement of goods. Recent tariff actions by the United States on African goods have highlighted the need to diversify our export markets. South Africa is a leading exporter of agricultural produce and high-quality industrial products such as automotive vehicles, as well as components. We call on Japanese counterpart companies to support tariff cooperation to ease market access for African goods. We seek partnership in infrastructure, in energy, in digital development through blended finance. We also seek partnerships in financing skills development, youth innovation, and small business scaling. Africa is not seeking aid, it is seeking partners, and that is why we are here.
In the meantime, Kenya's President William Ruto has lauded the trade and investment partnership between Kenya and Japan, and this was during his keynote address at the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development. According to President Ruto, Japan has provided Kenya with more than $5 billion in development aid, helping enhance the country's transport infrastructure, energy systems, and agricultural productivity. He also highlighted Tokyo as Kenya's third largest source of foreign direct investment.
Contributing over. There are 120 Japanese investors operating in Kenya across diverse sectors, from manufacturing and infrastructure to renewable energy and various technologies. They are part of a growing network of businesses that see Kenya as a gateway to African market and a trusted partner in investment and growth. Our trade ties are equally strong. Bilateral trade reached $900 million in 2024, an increase of 33% from the previous year. Japan remains Kenya's leading source of motor vehicles, while our exports ranging from titanium and copper to tea and flowers demonstrate the wide opportunities available in our markets. Over the past 50 years, Japan has extended more than $5 billion in development assistance, advancing Kenya's transport, energy, agriculture, and health systems. We aim to achieve up to 10% annual economic growth by 2030 and increase job creation by 1.2 million jobs every year. Our 5 priority sectors, agriculture, health, digital economy, manufacturing, and climate action, are well aligned with Japan's own development priorities. We are expanding fiber optic infrastructure across Kenya to provide more young people with digital skills and to provide opportunities for them to be able to be connected into the digital job infrastructure that is available not just in Japan, but globally.
As the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD9, opened on Wednesday, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres emphasized the role of technology in Africa's development, urging stronger digital infrastructure and support for innovation.
Japan's technological leadership can help close this divide and ensure that technology helps African countries catch up with adequate digital public infrastructure rather than being left behind. And this includes ensuring that all countries can harness the incredible potential of artificial intelligence to power progress for all as defined in the Pact for the Future. We have just shared a report outlining innovative financing options to build AI capacity in developing countries. AI must stand for Africa included.
We're back here in West African region. Over the past 13 months, the Chadian President Mahamat Idris Deby Itno has been holding high-level talks with the three West African countries of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger. These are countries who exited the West African bloc ECOWAS to set up the Association of Sahel States, AES. These high-level visits have led to speculations that Chad may be joining the AES alliance, which could change the balance of power in the Sahel region. Also discuss this development, joining us now is Channels Television Sahel correspondent Mo-Sani Aliyu from the city of Tamale in northern Ghana. Hello, Mo. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, what specific factors, are we saying that is probably driving Chad's apparent move towards the Alliance of Sahel States? And how does this represent a departure from, Chad's traditional foreign policy alignment with France and Western partners?
Well, specifically speaking, the president of Chad, Marshal Mohammed Idris Deby Itno, has visited three countries in the AES Association of Sahel States, 3 times this year alone. To put this into perspective, I will tell you that from January 2025 till this particular point in time, the Chadian president has only visited 5 countries. So in February, he was in Burkina Faso to attend the FESPACO festival, which is a cultural festival that is held yearly there. And he now visited Niger early in the year also. And 2 weeks ago, he was back in Niger for another visit. So this shows the importance that Chad has been given these 3 neighbors of Chad, that is Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. And you should also know that these 3 countries share common borders, and the issue of threats to life and property, that is security challenges, are common to all these 3 countries. So they share a common goal of fighting terrorism and economic prosperity. These are some of the reasons why Chad has been seen to be moving closer to these 3 countries. Another reason could be the fact that Chad has been withdrawing its support or the closeness of its relationship with France over the past 2 years. As we speak, there are no foreign soldiers on Chadian soil. That is specifically France. The French have left. All the barracks that they have occupied for over 30, 40 years are now empty, have been taken over by the Chadian troops. So Chad has been moving away systematically from the Western powers, especially France, and moving closer to its Western neighbors, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali.
Now, given the sheer challenges of terrorism and, economic development in that region, which you've mentioned, are there concrete security and economic benefits that, Chad is likely to see from stronger ties with Niger and the broader alliance of these Sahel states?
Exactly, there are. Even though Chad is a member of the Central African Economic Union, it's not a West African country, mind you. But Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali exited the ECOWAS region, and they have set up this particular association of theirs. Chad, is also affected in a way because all three countries, the former three countries in the ECOWAS sub-region, are landlocked countries. So is Chad. Therefore, Chad will gain a lot by aligning itself with its Western neighbors in terms of trade, because they have opened up a new trade route with Morocco to the north. So a lot of trade has traditionally been going on between these 3 or 4 countries, but this in the past year or two, there has been a lot of increase in trading between these countries. That is why that is Marshal Idris Deby Itno sent 2 ministers in the last 2 months to visit Chad and Burkina Faso to talk about economic integration. These are issues that are close to the Chadian government, and it sees it as something very, very important, apart from the fact that the threats to life, as I said, and property from the insurgents and ISWAP, the fighters of ISWAP that are also fighting across the borders of these 4 countries. Chad has a lot to gain by aligning itself with its Western neighbors.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Mo Sani Aliyu, Channels TV's Sahel correspondent.
Thank you for having me.
Well, still ahead on the program. Kenya's beekeepers decry banned EU pesticides imported to their country, endangering livelihoods and the ecosystem. We'll give you more details after. Please join us again. Welcome back to the program. Here in Nigeria, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has announced the sudden demise of the Consul General in Buea, Republic of Cameroon, Ambassador Taoufik Koka, who unfortunately passed on after a brief illness over the weekend. According to the ministry, Ambassador Koka was a hardworking and dedicated career diplomat who served Nigeria with distinction, commitment, and professionalism in different capacities. His untimely death, therefore, is a great loss to the diplomatic community and the nation at large. Prior to his appointment and assumption of duty as Consul General of Nigeria in Buea, he served Nigeria in missions in Conakry, Guinea, and Shanghai, China. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has extended its heartfelt condolences to his immediate family, colleagues, and friends at this difficult time, and also prays for the peaceful repose of his soul. In the meantime, Nigeria's in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, has commended 18-year-old Abiola Abidoye for achieving a remarkable academic feat, a milestone, by securing the highest level A-level law degree in the entire United Kingdom. In a statement, the NIDCOM boss, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, describes Abidoye's academic excellence as a source of immense pride to Nigeria and the diaspora, urging young Nigerians to draw inspiration from his dedication and passion for learning. She adds that his remarkable success reinforces the positive image of Nigeria abroad and reflects NIDCOM's mission to celebrate such global achievements, urging other young talented Nigerians to emulate his record-breaking performance, hence enhancing Nigeria's image abroad as an educationally advanced country. We're in Kenya now. Back in 2023, Human Rights Watch reported that pesticides banned in the European Union due to health and environmental risks continue to be sold abroad by European and international companies. Despite the domestic bans, hazardous chemicals are still exported to countries in the global south, where pesticide regulations are weaker.
In Kenya, beekeepers are raising the alarm over cheap, toxic pesticides banned in the EU, but still entering their markets, causing serious threats to their livelihoods and to the environment.
Our surrounding farmers are using herbicides and pesticides, which make the production of honey to be low. So out of one box, we buy at 5,000. 5,000 times 24 is a lot of money. And what we have got today is only 2 liters, 2 kgs. They have killed most of our colony. Out of 24, we got only 1 beehive which was colonized. So it's very loss. It's a very loss to our production and our project.
Local beekeepers are suffering major losses, with incomes drying up alongside dying hives.
Because we are surrounded with farms, sugarcane farms, some kind of crop farms, the moment the spraying is done using the pesticides, and when our bees come now to go and collect, the nectar from these flowers, they die. It is really hurting to us, the farmers, after making a huge investment like this, spending money with a lot of expectations, then we end up, because some pesticides being added onto our soils, destroying the bees and everything, it makes us to feel so painful. We go at a loss, and we just hate everything.
Back in 2020, the European Commission pledged to stop the production of banned chemicals for export. However, to date, no binding measures have been enforced, while some countries, including France, Belgium and Germany, have moved ahead with national bans on such exports.
The pesticides which have been listed as hazardous or dangerous to the environment by our friends from the European countries, we would kindly relook into these, because these are the pesticides which are being sold at a very cheap price in the Kenyan market. So farmers are really craving for them. They are using them. They are affecting the life cycle of the bees. Production is really going down. And if care is not taken, you would understand that humanity's survival depends entirely on bees' existence. So in case the bees are out of space, that means our existence is also at stake.
The Kenyan government says it is taking steps to regulate pesticide sales within the country. The Route to Food Initiative says 76% of pesticides sold in the country are categorized as highly hazardous pesticides, with 44% of them banned in Europe. In recent weeks, over 70 pesticides have been withdrawn from use, over 200 restricted, and over 150 set for review.
And as we end the program today, here's a fun fact about the continent. Did you know that the earliest human ancestors originated from Africa? The continent is sometimes called the cradle of humankind because there have been many fossils, tools which indicate that early human life originated here. These people are the earliest known Homo sapiens, which is the species human beings belong to. Well, if you didn't know, now you know. And that's it on the program today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde.